Hey, it's the SpongeDudes. We are here again at the sadness of everyone. We're back to tell you more about our thoughts of SpongeBob. I'm sure you guys are dying to know. This week we are on episode 3. I am Babbage.
I am Cleater Tot Tot.
And I'm Tommy.
And we are down 2 dudes today, falling in the line of SpongeBob duty.
All cock, no cum. Is that right, Clayton?
Yeah, that's... well, it's more a big cock, no cum, but yeah.
So it's just going to be us. So you're stuck with us.
Yeah, even worse.
Yeah. So as I said, we watched episode 3, which is Jellyfishing and Plankton. So we're going to get started with the first bit of that, which was jellyfishing. That is, there's a lot going on in this episode, but the main bit is that SpongeBob and Patrick want to go jellyfishing, and then they get Squidward hurt, but then they make him go jellyfishing with them, and that's pretty much the main bit of it.
Yeah, I just want to start out, they got the title of the episode perfect. They go jellyfishing. That's confirmed.
They do go jellyfishing. I said the sick rock intro of them suiting up. That was like the first bit.
Yeah, that's the same thing I wrote down. Like, cool metalish song plays accompanying Sponge and Star getting ready for the jellyfish hunt.
Yeah, the thrash is... They kind of do a lot of like kind of metal. Like, there's Pantera later, I think, as the show goes on. And also a big ass telescope in the beginning, and then Patrick is so fucking thick, can barely get that plump, juicy hiney down that ventilation shaft.
Oh.
You like that, Tommy?
Do I need to give you a moment with the with that clip, or are you good?
Yeah, I just need a screen grab of it, and I am good to go.
So yeah, I think that's like spying. Like SpongeBob is like looking to see if the jellyfish are out today. Then they nod to each other, and then they do the suit up scene, and then they go outside and they try and catch some jellyfish, and they look all goofy. SpongeBob puts on his glasses to jellyfish, which is a reoccurring thing. Do you think that if he wore those when he drove, he would be a better driver?
That's a good point. Do we think they're frameless? Is it a style statement, or does he actually? Are they prescription?
Are they like
what is the actual purpose? Because I was thinking, yeah, he only puts those on when he goes jellyfishing, so that makes me think it's for safety purposes.
It could be safety glasses, yeah.
Maybe he's got some bad depth, field of depth. You think maybe?
It's possible. So then they ask Squidward if he wants to go jellyfishing with them. And he makes fun of them and then goes to ride his bike. And there is like a minute-long scene of him riding his bike and laughing at them and then cutting back to a jellyfish going towards him. And I just really like that the animator's like, yeah, we can just spend a minute right here. And just cutting back and forth of him laughing and the jellyfish buzzing right towards him.
His eyes closed the entire time?
Yeah, he's just like, he has his head back, his mouth agape, laughing as loud as he can, which is
unsafe. He's not even wearing a helmet, was he? I don't think he was wearing a helmet.
No, he does do that in the movie though. When he does the little lay down bike, he has a helmet on there. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Maybe we'll get to the movie.
I also want to point out he didn't know Patrick's name.
Yeah,
it's early on in the show. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like established.
I don't know if it was like
him for a while,
but at the same time,
I don't know if it's him being rude or what.
Yeah. I think he was genuine. And also, he's very sarcastic to him. I really like it.
Yeah.
Another, like, Squidward's, like, a pretty big dick in this one, I would say. I mean, he is going to get tortured later, so, like, he doesn't deserve that.
So, he's riding, laughing, and then the jellyfish flies into his mouth and, like, stings him on his shirt and shit. And then he crashes his bike. The most insane crash. It's like the hot rod scene where he's rolling down the hill. And then the bike explodes when it hits the bottom. But some of the noises and screams that he makes on the way down had me laughing pretty loud. And then the explosion, I forgot that happened.
Yeah, the explosion somehow always escapes my memory. He's got a sweet ride, though. It's a nice bike.
It was.
That's what I said. Loses it, unfortunately.
So then he goes to the hospital and gets like a full body cast. And then I actually watched this a little bit at work while we were, I think I was on my lunch or something, and someone walked by and watched a bit with me and then made the comment that the hospital made him like use the electric wheelchair all the way back on a main road to his house. And I
don't think his I don't think his cash register job at the Krusty Krab gave insurance. Knowing Mr. Krabs,
he has no insurance. He's now in medical debt. He has no friends because his only quote unquote friends are SpongeBob and Patrick. They can't drive, so he has to take this stupid ass wheelchair home.
So SpongeBob and Patrick just want to like make him happy because he can't really emote at all because he's in a full body cast, and so they just kind of make him do stuff where they make the soup. They make him a hot alphabet soup, and Patrick blows it. Patrick blows on it to make it cooler, and he blows it all over him. And then they say that instead they should serenade him with music with the clarinet. And SpongeBob wets his mouth.
Oh yeah.
And I wrote down what that mouth do.
I wrote down SpongeBob's wetting his lips got me feeling some type of way.
Man,
and
this
I
episode
put
is
down, I bet SpongeBob eats hella puss.
The squirrel pussy, right?
Yeah.
Squishy. I want to be the only one who didn't say it. Damn it.
And then that doesn't work, so they're like, let's just go jellyfishing. And Squidward obviously doesn't want to do that. And then they go out there, and that's where you get your famous meme scene, firmly grasp it, when they're trying to teach him how to do it. I do like when they take him out there and they wheel him all the way out there. And they're like, we're going to teach you how to do this. And he just turns around in the wheelchair and starts to leave. And they grab him and pull him back. I liked that bit. But like I said, yeah, firmly grasp it, where Patrick shoves the jellyfishing net through his hand.
Yeah, there's one thing I wanted to talk about. It happened to, like, when Squidward's coming home and SpongeBob calls Patrick. That always makes me laugh because, like, Patrick, he's here. And he's like, I know. Then they hang up the phones together and they have different backgrounds and they're in the same room. That's
right
hilarious.
Yeah, that's good.
And also his framed photo of best friends, not with Patrick, but Squidward has a noticeable bulge in that picture. I feel like SpongeBob added that form. It's more of a fantasy form.
I didn't notice a bulge.
It's very noticeable in the picture. It has like a nice swoopage in it. I'm like, this. Wait,
what was he? I thought he doesn't wear pants. What do you mean bulge?
It's just like the quarter in the bubble stand. It's his skin pocket. So he's wearing some type of skin undergarments, I would imagine.
Okay.
So eventually Squidward catches a jellyfish, and then catches it like against what he thinks is a rock, and then he just starts beating the jellyfish to death inside the net. But then the rock moves, and it's one of the giant jellyfish. I don't think it's one of the royalty ones, though, because those look different. They have a cape and the crown, so I think it's just one of the big ones, you know?
So we know.
Yeah, it's to help not get the children confused.
Yeah.
He sees it, and he knows he's in trouble, and he starts wheelchairing away. And SpongeBob and Patrick are like, yeah, get it, Squidward, you got it, buddy. And then he gets electrocuted, I guess to death, but not really. He's on the verge, I assume, by this giant jellyfish. And then he gets he has to go back to the hospital. He ends up getting a bigger cast on his whole body, and he comes back on a gurney with an IV drip, and he's still going down the road in an electric gurney, basically, on the main road. And then SpongeBob and Patrick give him a jellyfish, and he releases it on them. And then the big jellyfish comes back because it wants seconds, and electrocutes him again, and then Squidward's cast falls off.
I want to go back just a little bit, because I noticed something in this scene that really was like, whoa, I think this is the first time that we've actually seen this in the show up to this point, is that SpongeBob and Patrick actually go to Squidward and they're like show actual remorse and they're like, yeah, we're sorry. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, they do
I wasn't
acknowledge
expecting
that they shouldn't have taken him out there
Yes.
unprepared.
Yeah, self-awareness. It was a nice thing to see. And I also want to point out, yeah, it is surprising. And I'm going to say, for SpongeBob and Patrick's favorite hobby, I couldn't relate to them more. They suck at it. I mean, truly, they're horrible at jellyfishing. They didn't catch one jellyfish. They're horrible.
Well, they had to because they had the one in the jar.
Yeah, you're right. So they caught one.
Yeah. They actually like break the fourth wall like the first time that they go out there because they're singing that like classic song, but like they sing like bits and then like the show plays other bits, so you know what they're singing. I thought that was interesting. It goes back and forth between like diegetic and non-diegetic sound, which is
it was fun
term.
Yeah, it's we got a big brain cinema file in here.
That's right. At least I'm not the other kind of file.
Which
we'll talk about in episode the second bit of this episode, because I think Plankton might be. So we'll go ahead and just move on to the Plankton episode.
Very excited.
Which is the first time that we get to see Plankton. It opens with SpongeBob breaking every single code that's imaginable by putting every piece of the burger inside of his body, which is just disgusting. And to make the burger
down, that's disgusting.
I cringed at the part where he shot mustard into his eye. I didn't like that.
And then he goes to make the burger.
Accent.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of it? It's pretty good, huh?
It was pretty good. Pretty good Frenchie.
Yeah.
Then he goes to make the burger, he finishes it, and it starts running away, and then turns out it's Plankton. And he does like 3 or 4 of his famous lines, like right at the beginning there, like when the first you met him, like he just tells Mr. Krabs, like, I went to college. Like, I don't know, that's just one of the famous Plankton lines.
So I know we asked this about a couple of other characters, but he's the only college educated one. Interesting.
Yeah. He's the one who at least says it, for sure. It must mean something, because I don't know if he's like super proud of it, or like he's just like, that's just how smart I am and not many people go. Do you think he went to real college or undersea college?
Definitely undersea college, for sure.
You don't think he just went to Stanford?
Okay.
So then he devises he wants to steal the Krabby Patty formula from Mr. Krabs to make his restaurant, the Chum Bucket, more popular. And he invests a lot of his lifetime money into stealing this formula instead of just figuring out how to make the Chum Bucket better, which has always bothered me. And then I also figured out pretty quickly, like, Mr. Krabs won't say no to money. So he could just buy one of the Krabby Patties. Why is he always trying to steal it?
I think that Mr. Krabs, the wise businessman that he is, understands the long-term profitability of the Krabby Patty, so he wouldn't sell.
You don't think he'd sell it? I've seen him get his hand stuck in a drain for a penny.
Well, all right, yeah, but let me counter with this. SpongeBob pays him to work there.
That's true. We'll talk about that later. So then Plankton figures out he needs to become friends with SpongeBob, or tend to. So SpongeBob is the way for him to get this secret Krabby Patty. SpongeBob closes up shop that night and is walking home, and you hear Plankton say, "Come on, boy, a little closer." Oh my God,
oh, man.
This is the inflection he does, the come on boy, a little closer. I don't know, it made me laugh really hard.
That's one of the reasons why Plankton's my favorite characters. Is the character himself is just great, and like the voice actor that portrays him just does a really good job.
Actually, the fun fact is that Mr. Lawrence is the guy's name who voices him, but he was also a co-writer on a lot of episodes. But this was he was a co-writer on this episode, and then he also voices Plankton. So that's just fun. Does
a good job as a voice actor.
Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, truly, every voice is perfect, and this just, I think, is a little bit of a elevated. I think it's the best one, like Tommy said.
He says he coerces SpongeBob to come closer to him. He steps on him, of course, because that's the obvious joke. Because Plankton is a small little piece of plankton. I don't think we addressed that. He's extremely tiny compared to everyone else. um, and then it's just real rapey. Him like talking to SpongeBob and trying to become his friend. And he says it's his birthday. And then he puts a little birthday hat on SpongeBob's thumb and gives it a hug. He's like, can't we just be friends? And he starts drooling in SpongeBob's hand. It's a weird scene.
Yeah, he is fucking
He's leaking all over the place.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I mean, he really, really wants it. And also, my other question is, do you think the Krabby Patty, like being the fry cook, takes like a security clearance? Do you think Mr. Krabs requires that?
I don't know. Does SpongeBob know the secret formula? Or does he just prepare the patties like cooking them?
You know, that's a good question. I mean, maybe he is a secret formula. He's putting it in him.
Oh yeah, that's the YouTube video where he's the secret formula.
Meat Canyon?
Meat Canyon, that's it.
Disgusting.
Oh.
Disgusting. I hate it. I hate that video so much. Any listener, look at Meat Canyon SpongeBob, you're in for a ride.
Look up anything by Meat Canyon, you're in for a
just
ride.
Literally anything, especially childhood memories. It will ruin them.
So he's trying to make him his friend, or trick him into being his friend. SpongeBob figures that out pretty quick, actually, and then runs away. And then Plankton is like, "I'll take care of this. I got this."
Which I don't believe. I don't believe SpongeBob would catch on.
No, he makes this little device so he can plug it into SpongeBob's brain. He sneaks into SpongeBob's house. He's a floral pattern on SpongeBob's bed sheets. I like that. I like that bit. And then he goes inside of SpongeBob's head and tries to find his brain. He opens up a map. It's just a topic like an actual map, and it's just got a brain in the center of it. He's like, "Where's this brain? I know it's around here somewhere."
Yeah,
and then
the map is hilarious every time.
Yeah. And then a little bit of SpongeBob rolling around in his sleep, and his brain like rolling around in his head because it's not attached to anything. And then Plankton tapes it down.
And he says, yes, that's grand.
And then he plugs it into the brain, takes control. SpongeBob says, "Oh, I guess it's time to wake up." He just like walks through. He doesn't use any doors whenever he's controlling SpongeBob. And he just makes him like smash through the house. Then he goes into Squidward's house, and Squidward's like mad at SpongeBob. And SpongeBob like turns his top half of his body around like an owl, and then Plankton like talks through SpongeBob, and he just annihilates Squidward.
It is
the shit out of him.
It is insane the magnitude that he destroys Squidward. Mediocre.
Yeah, he says, "Shut your mouth, you mediocre clarinet player."
Mediocre.
How does Plankton know of Squidward? He must have done some heavy recon.
I think Bikini Bottom's a small town.
I mean, everyone just hates Squidward, and the Krusty Krab is left to SpongeBob's home. He cuts right. He just wanted to roast Squidward. You can't, he just wanted to. It's just part of his plan. Gotta fucking murder this guy with words.
He walks through Patrick's house, which is hollow now. Like the rock is not like a solid rock. But Patrick's house isn't really bound by any real thing, as we see in later episodes when we go into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then they get to this is whenever Plankton is roasting Squidward, SpongeBob like rolls his eyes back into his head and sees that Plankton is controlling him. So he knows that Plankton's doing that. So then they smash through one side of the Krusty Krab and then come out the other side just holding a burger. Like he just grabbed it like on the way through or whatever.
Tight grip too.
So then they go over to the chum bucket, And SpongeBob said, "There's no one here," and Plankton says, "Don't remind me." I liked that bit. I mean, it is the middle of the night, but I liked that. I thought it was very funny.
He's open 24/7, just hoping someone just wanders in.
Then he goes back to the back of their, like into his. Oh, he says, "Welcome to my lab," or "This is my lab."
This is my lab.
And it's a picture or a video of a dog, the Labrador Retriever. And this is my laboratory. And then that's a good joke.
Yeah, and it's more inserting like different art styles into SpongeBob. It's great.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So then he takes him back to show him this machine where if you drop it in there, it tells you what the whatever you drop in there is made out of. So it drops a piece of seaweed in there. And it says 50% sea, 50% weed. That's a really good one. So then he goes to drop the burger in. SpongeBob figures out like he can kind of finesse Plankton here. And so he like starts describing the burger. Plankton gets all hot and horny again for like the 8th time this episode, and then jumps out. He's like, "I gotta have it!" And he jumps out and jumps onto the bun and bounces off like a bounce house castle into the machine that reads what he is. And it turns out he's just 99% hot air, 1% evil. I like.
And he's stuck in the computer.
Then he's stuck in the computer, yeah. And also, like the person talking, like the computer, like tells you what it is. That's the same voice of Karen, but Karen is not like introduced in that episode.
Yeah,
his computer wife.
Another interesting idea. Ahead of its time.
Plankton's one of the few characters who's married, actually.
Is he like the only one besides like SpongeBob's parents?
I was going to say SpongeBob's parents are the other ones that come to mind.
Yeah, I feel like that's about it. We know Mrs. Puff is a widow.
Do we?
Unfortunately. Yeah. What happened to Mr. Puff? She doesn't like to talk about it because he's the lamp.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Krabs was married.
Yeah, Mr. Krabs was married, and then him and Miss Puff go out on a date.
Well, do we know he's married, or is he just slinging it around town?
I don't know, actually. That's a good question. I guess we'll have to cover that later.
When we get there.
And so there's the end of the episode. Do you guys like either one of these two?
So the first part, I thought it was probably, I'd give it a 3 out of 5. But the second part where Plankton gets introduced, I don't know, I have a soft spot for Plankton, so I just kind of really like the episode. So I'd probably... Can we do half, or is it just simply like 1?
You can do half. You can do whatever you want.
I give it a 4.5 sponges out of 5.
You know, like, I was going to say the same thing. The first half of this episode, I mean, it has some good, like, chuckles out of me, like the exploding bike and everything. But yeah, it's not amazing, but the Plankton half is perfect, I think. I mean, start to finish, it's perfect. So if I was to give my rating, honestly, probably like a 7 out of 10. I think that first half really holds it up.
IMDb has this episode combined together 8.4 out of 10.
Pretty high.
I think that's pretty high. I do like the Plankton episode, and I like you said, some bits of the jellyfishing one are pretty good. Overall, I don't necessarily like episodes where SpongeBob is being irritating because he can't turn it off, which is the entire jellyfishing episode.
It is, but I mean, there's also good, like the spitting of soup and everything. That's kind of Patrick, though. Never mind.
Yeah, I like when Patrick does dumb shit. So
yeah.
I will say I like those bits. Right now, there's an ad on IMDb for Paramount Plus. So I'm going to give Jellyfishing and Plankton a, let's go with a 7.2 Paramount Plus subscriptions out of 10.
I want to get your quick opinion on Paramount Plus. How do you rank that?
0 out of 100. We're moving the scale up, and I'm telling you how bad that streaming app is.
Yeah, I haven't used it. So I'm going to start with you, Baby J. What was your favorite moment of the episode? There's a lot. I think there's a couple of good ones.
Firmly Grasp It is hard to beat, but Come On Boy, a Little Closer made me laugh really hard. And basically that whole bit, we kind of breeze through it because there's like, it's it's like 5 minutes of the episode of him standing there talking to SpongeBob and being just a weirdo creep on the side of the road at night.
One part where he tries to tempt him with a golden spatula, but when he goes to retrieve it, it looks like he's digging in his asshole for it.
Yes, yeah, he reaches like inside of himself to pull that spatula out.
Shabling, sparkle, sparkle.
So I think every character in the show just has like skin pockets of
they got God's pocket,
unlimited storage.
Also, he can afford a gold spatula. Like, he can afford all this crazy stuff. Why does he need a restaurant?
That's what I'm saying. Like, he schemes so hard for this formula when he has money that he could sink into his restaurant. And that's actually covered a little bit later. He does end up like becoming successful at his restaurant sometimes. So yeah, I guess "Come on, boy, a little closer" is my favorite quote.
What about you, Tom?
You just got to hear the way he says it.
It's perfect line delivery.
I did really like Squidward blowing up.
Yeah,
he does like one specific scream, like as he falls off the cliff from getting electrocuted. I don't know, that one made me laugh too. I think it's like the second or third scream down when he hits a rock, hits his head on or something.
Squidward in pain. It makes me smile.
But yeah, I'll go with "Come on, boy, a little closer." That'd be my favorite quote.
I liked when SpongeBob, or in this case Plankton, roasted the shit out of Squidward and called him a mediocre clarinet player. Just got like right to what really would hurt his soul, and he just knew what to do.
I mean, there's some words I still don't understand to this day. I'm 25 years old. Oh,
like after he says that, yeah, he says he has more talent than him, but like he talks about like some micro
protozoan waste.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, all-time best roast. And my favorite moment, I'm just gonna have to go with it's made me laugh my entire life. Is just "Here's my lab." Gets me every time. I love the cut to real life footage. He has an entire wall dedicated to, I'm assuming, a live footage of his dog.
So, he just constantly has that playing in the background. That's his only happiness. It's actually probably his dog, since his wife ends up being a computer. Why can't his dog be a video
virtual good boy? Yeah. And because near and dear to my heart, because I'm a big fan of Nintendogs. Growing up, I had almost every copy, played them all the time.
Dude, that shit bangs.
I wonder if they're still alive.
I'd open up my DS after like a couple of years, and my dogs were just dying and flea-ridden.
So hungry. I forgot about the flea.
And my favorite thing was to take them on walks and just yank them.
Oh my god, you're a sociopath.
Tommy, you have animals now, right?
I have a cat, yes.
Yeah, Chad. Let me just go ahead and call the animal services real quick.
No, it's fine.
Cat's in danger.
Did you have Nintendo Cats or whatever it was where you had the cats? Did you have the Nintendo?
I never tried the cats one. I just did Nintendogs.
Yeah. I'm a little bit older than you guys, so I had Tamagotchis growing up, and
I had a Tamagotchi when I was really young.
I had one that was a monkey, and if you didn't feed it like all the time, it would die, and it would like go off in the middle of the night at like 3 a.m. Like, you gotta feed me. I'm like, please.
I remember I got one in the Philippines for the summer, and then I brought it home, and then like school was starting, and I was like, okay, Mom, this is what you have to do. And then I got back and it died, and I was like,
One day? Oh no.
I think like I kept mine alive long enough to where the batteries died on the Tamagotchi, so then it effectively died then itself. And I was really disappointed at that. I was like, I'm never touching this thing again. That's so irritating.
Yeah, no, I never had that a Tamagotchi. I had a 20 questions.
I remember it being pretty cool.
The thing where you tell it what it is and it asks you 20 questions. That one was pretty neat.
Yeah, need a burrito.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that's SpongeBob episode 3. Hope you guys like SpongeBob, because this would be a good show to listen to if you do. If you don't like SpongeBob, why? And why are you listening? And that's me signing off.
Goodbye, as Tommy puts, my spongies.
Oh, you brought it back.
I did. I have to. I like it.
Okay. Goodbye, my spongies. See you next time. Catch you on the flippity flip.
Flippity